From May 23 through 25, 2006, the U.S. Department of Transportation led a major disaster response exercise entitled Pacific Peril 06. The challenging scenario was based on a magnitude 9 earthquake occurring along the 800-mile-long offshore fault called the Cascadia Subduction Zone, or CSZ, generating a devastating tsunami along the Pacific Northwest coast. A major goal of the exercise was to explore the interaction of county, state, tribal, and federal agencies in preparing for and responding to a multi-state natural disaster. State and county transportation and emergency management agencies from Oregon, Washington, and California were represented. Federal involvement included all modes of DOT, DHS, and DOD, and with several Canadian agencies present, Pacific Peril was truly international in scope. The exercise was held at the Oregon National Guard's Camp Rilea Training Center in Warrenton, Oregon. The United States Navy's Center for Asymmetric Warfare, or CAW, provided expert planning, documentation, and exercise control through all phases of the event. Pacific Peril 06 was kicked off by a one-day tsunami seminar held a month prior to the exercise at Willamette University. Designed to promote tsunami hazard preparedness, interagency response, and community awareness, the seminar consisted of a series of presentations on the science of subduction zone earthquakes and the potentially catastrophic effects of the tsunamis they spawn. Attendees learned that major CSZ tsunamis have battered the northwest coast on average every 500 years, with the last one taking place in 1700. Day one of Pacific Peril 06 was attended by over 400 dedicated professionals and consisted of a full-day training session. Participants were challenged to take advantage of the opportunity presented to learn, to network, and to prepare. Scientists explained how CSZ earthquakes and tsunamis form and how they are detected. Presentations on county and state-level response followed. Washington State Representative Jim Buck delivered a powerful brief emphasizing individual preparedness and the long-term effects of this event on the people, infrastructure, and economy of the Olympic Peninsula. Afternoon speakers were from FEMA and several DoD commands, including the U.S. Northern Command and the Navy's Third Fleet. Mr. Bill Lokey, the FEMA Director of Operations, provided a frank and revealing look at the combined response to the Hurricane Katrina disaster and its aftermath. Finally, the call set the stage for the next day's command post exercise. Through a thrilling bit of exercise magic, the audience suddenly found themselves experiencing the earthquake all had feared. A simulated breaking news report gave details of the quake's devastation and warned those in low-lying coastal areas to get to higher ground. The command post exercise on day 2 was the heart of Pacific Peril 06. Over 300 people took part, representing some 70 agencies. Participants were tasked to exercise the two-way communication processes needed to share information, request help, provide a rapid response, and practice the command and control functions so vital for an effective response. The Camp Rilea venue had been transformed overnight, with laptops and telephones connecting state, Canadian, and federal groups with each other and the call-led Exercise Control Center. Play began with an updated news broadcast and a current status briefing. Experts in the control cell simulated individuals or agencies not present. The morning session, which simulated the 12-hour operational period starting the morning after the earthquake, was focused primarily on damage assessment and requests for support, while the afternoon session, simulating the operational period starting at T+84 hours, was used to exercise command and control. A robust joint information center supported both the real-world media and internally generated play, simulating response to officials and private citizens demanding information. The Coast Guard and emergency management organizations from Oregon and Washington provided displays of their emergency response gear. Breakout sessions were held entitled After the Impact, discussing earthquake and tsunami survival training, and the Governor's Special Task Force addressing long-term regional economic recovery. Day 3 began with a hot wash after action review of the CPX conducted by Colonel Bill Webb of U.S. Army North. Colonel Webb summarized player comments and briefed the results, identifying what worked and what could be improved in terms of both the exercise and with the real-world processes being used. Following the review, a tabletop exercise focusing on recovery was held. Agency roles and responsibilities were discussed and clarified. Participants were divided into 4 jurisdictional groups and presented with a number of questions for discussion. Each group then provided a brief back to the plenary group, followed by comparisons and contrasts of the briefing points made. The format included an initial recovery phase from the event through the transition from response to recovery, a midterm phase from several months to a year, and a long-term recovery phase from 1 year and beyond. Issues raised during the recovery tabletop will provide a broad base for future preparedness and a benchmark for planning discussions for some time to come.